Good evening and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View this evening. It's Sunday night, it's what we call Sunday Meltdown Live evening tonight. And not to disappoint, even if the Rangers do not put out the news that all Celtic fans are eagerly awaiting. Live evening tonight. Even if they don't put out the information that Celtic fans really want, and there's lots of yous on the live already. The information that is coming out just now is that Clement is not to leave Rangers. Yep, Clement is not to leave Rangers. Coming out of the Rangers Review, which is the sister paper of the Celtic Way. That is, they've come out and said in Rangers Review this evening, just about 5 minutes ago, after WhatsApp rumours scorched as Philippe Clement, don't want to be notified, and remains as boss. Yes, 23 minutes ago, the Rangers Review come out with that he remains as boss. Philippe Clement has not left Rangers, despite spreading the contrary rumours. WhatsApp messages suggest that the Belgium had left his role, and it has been spreading like wildfire. It is understood there is no change to the current position at the club. Rangers are now 11 points adrift of their bitter rivals Celtic. They need to catch Aberdeen before they catch us. And we're not bitter rivals. They're relatively a new club. If we're their bitter rivals, I mean, God knows what Dundee United and that are, because they're breathing down their neck, and Aberdeen are way in front of them. They are the real challengers in Scottish football this season. Rangers are now 11 points adrift after the Premiership table with the 1-1 draw after Dundee United at Ibrox. They also remain 8 points behind Jimmy Thielen's rejuvenated Aberdeen, while the club making strides behind the scenes with the impending appointment of Patrick Stewart as CEO and Michael Offord as chairman. There is no suggestion a change of manager is imminent today. It is understood that the current interim manager the current interim chairman John Gilligan is currently out of the country on a trip prior to taking his current role. So if the chairman is the one who would ultimately make the decision, if he's not in the country, there's no chance of them sacking the manager tonight. Speaking after the disappointing Ibrox draw, Clement says that he was adamant that nobody in the dressing room was giving up in the race for the championship. And news. We'll get some Celtic news first of all, because I'm going to let you listen to a couple of videos from the nonsense from yesterday, some meltdown stuff. Don't worry, there is going to be some fantastic meltdown. The real meltdowns are coming, so do not worry. James Forrest, the La Liga side, Club Atletico, they remember played James Forrest for his testimonial on the 1st of August 2023. They put out a tweet yesterday after it was announced that James Forrest would be a one-club man, and it said, "One club man in the making, gone your cell, James." Celtic Park, the 1st of August, James Forrest testimonial against Athletic. Club Athletic. Fantastic that the Spanish club have put out a tweet saying hashtag Forrest. They put a little fire emblem and hashtag Forrest. I'll put it up on the thing if you want to go and check it out at a later point. I shouldn't really take you off. I'll put it up there. And there's the tweet itself. That's too long. Never mind. It's too long to go up in a tweet. Anyway, you can go and look for it. I might put it up in the community tab later. But they are saying well done to James Forrest. Now, since it is time for meltdowns, I just need to get on this just to make sure that there is no statements. We're going to keep on checking out Statement FC, but until then, let's listen to a couple of interviews from yesterday. Where's the Jack Butland one? We'll listen to this one first.
Jack, what went wrong for you and the team out there today?
Speak up, son.
Lack of intensity first half, which is frustrating because teams come here to frustrate it. They come here to make things difficult, and you have to force it. You have to pry them out of positions, and you have to set a statement of intent that you're gonna make it difficult for them. And we didn't do enough for that in the first half. As a result, you get punished from defending a routine situation not very well, with an extra runner in the box not tagging onto him and giving away an easy goal. And that's what they come to do. That's what Dundee come to do. They come to make things difficult, try and get something and hold on. And we didn't do enough of that in the first half. As a result, the game becomes what it becomes. They hold on. As a result, you have to respond. You have to play with intensity that we should have started the game with. And obviously, then you start to create chances, and you start playing the way that you should have been playing from the get-go. So. Blue in the face. It's not for the want of trying. It's not for the reminders. It's not for people who've got to do it. People who've got to take the initiative. It's unfair to point fingers and whatever. Just everyone has to just step up. As simple as that. Step up. Do your jobs better.
Up and play the thing.
Track your runners better. Get forward better. Do everything. It's on everyone. We've had discussions, unfortunately, already so far this season where we felt that we haven't done enough of that. In games that we've been beaten, even games that we've won, where we feel like we need to have done more. So you can speak about it, you can tell people have got to do it. It's on the individual ultimately to push and to make sure that their standards are high enough, and then everything else follows collectively. So there's no one group to blame. We all just have to step up and start doing our jobs better.
Do you still believe you're in a title race this thing?
People might not think that. You won't catch us not thinking that. The reality, we know what it looks like.
You're 11 points behind, mate. You're not in a title race.
And we know we need to perform better if we want to be in a title race.
Hey, there we go.
By no means are we out of it, but...
What do you mean by no means are you out of it? Well, statistically, you're not out of it. Mathematically, you're not out of it. But Jesus, 11 points. Celtic are going to drop 11 points between now and the end of the season.
We've given ourselves way too much to do at this point, and we need to start closing that gap. And performance.
Hey, there he said it. He says we need to start closing that gap.
Like that aren't going to help us. Much to do at this point, and we need to start closing that gap. 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 Way too much to do at this point, and we need to start closing that gap.
There we
and
go.
Performances like that aren't going to help us.
There's some serious scrutiny in the manager in his position right now.
Yeah.
I mean, as you as players, how does that feel when you see him having to face the kind of criticism that he's facing?
It's part and parcel of it. It's on all of us. Do you know what I mean? If you're not winning at Rangers, it's on all of us. Ultimately, the manager faces that, and he has to face that more than any of us. But it's on us all. And we're not in a position, we're not going to be pointing fingers, as I've said a minute ago. We've got to stick together, completely understand the fans' frustration, rightly so, that turn up and support us everywhere we go, horrible conditions, great conditions, whatever it may be. They expect to see more, and that's not just on the manager, that's on all of us.
If there's any positives today, I suppose it'll be Giannis coming on, Danilo coming on and giving you a wee bit of spark that's sort of been missing this season in the second half. Is that something that gives you any sort of crumb of sort of encouragement?
Look, there's lots of encouragement. I know when you say something like that, it's given where we sit. We have the tools. We have pieces like that are fantastic players that have there. Even the lads that did come off at half time and the lads that played the whole game, whatever it may be, there's enough there, but we need to show it more often. The game then becomes like that, and they have quality. They have real quality, and ultimately ended up being more goals. But what for putting ourselves in a difficult position, and Jack Walton making some fantastic saves today, who's probably the best player on the pitch, ends up being a difficult day.
Couple, please.
When do you think the Rangers supporters are going to see a version of this side that is capable of going backwards by those that played today could be an 11-point gap?
Thursday, it has to be. I mean, that's the reality of it. If it's not today, it's the next game, and it needs to happen. We've done it at times, and at times is not enough. Not going to go into excuses. Not going to go into make excuses for anyone and anything. It's got to happen. It's got to happen. I'm sure you're sick of asking the questions. We're sick of having to answer them, but we putting ourselves in this position to have to answer them, and only the performances and results are the only way it's gonna going to give those fans encouragement.
Last one.
Do you think everyone in the dressing, Jack, understands the demands of playing for Rangers?
I hope so. It's something that we try and reinforce all the time. If the building, the training ground aren't reminders of the success, then I don't know what can be.
What? If the building that's leaking water, if the training ground isn't what shows them success, Jesus, don't tell them. But Celtic's just spent a fortune on doing up Lennoxtown, and they're building a new training ground for the women and the youth setup. Shh, don't tell them.
It's not like any other club. It's a special place, and it demands it all the time, day in, day out, from us all. And that's what it needs to be from, I think for most, it's been there the whole time. Others, if they haven't learned it, they need to learn it quick. That's on guys like me, everybody, to like I said a minute ago, step up and do better, because that's what the shirt deserves.
Guys, thank you very much.
Thank you, boy.
That's it. That's all you're getting. That's all you're getting. No more comments and no more nothing. Like, no more nothing for you. We're not talking to you. Let's listen to Clement and see what he said yesterday, just for the banter.
Philippe, can you give us your thoughts on the team's performance and the overall result today, please?
About the result, frustrating. Very frustrating to lose points, and we lost already too many points this season. So we know we don't have credit in the bank. We knew we don't have credit in the bank.
They've not got credit in the
way,
bank. He just said that.
About
the
the performance,
Whoa, Philippe.
About the performance, the second half, I've seen what I want to see of my team.
No.
Play, please.
About the result, frustrating. Very frustrating to lose points, and we lost already too many points this season. So we know we don't have credit in the bank. We knew we don't have credit in the bank. We knew we don't have credit in the bank. We knew we don't have credit in the bank. We knew we don't have credit in the bank. We knew we don't have credit in the bank. 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 In that way, about the performance, the second half, I've seen what I want to see of my team. How I want to see how we play football, how I want to see how we press, how we create chances, how we
They've not even got credit for their mobiles.
don't concede chances. So everything was there, only not the second goal to make, and that's the frustrating thing after this evening. First half I was not satisfied. I didn't see enough braveness, enough movement, and enough initiative of the team. So we need to show more about what we did in the second half, and that's what we need to show more in the future.
Can you put your finger on why you weren't happy with the first half performance? What were your team lacking? Why?
Our game that we see much more what we want to see.
You said about
We lose too many points. We're not where we want to be as a club, and we knew that before this game. So in that way, it's
Philip, please don't go.
2 points again lost that we cannot lose.
Phil, we love you so. We want you to know.
Last season, these kind of games we won every time, even when it was difficult. We could push things over the line. Today, I cannot say anything about second half, about the way the team pushed, and there was also a really good goalkeeper on the other side today, who was important in a few really good saves in that way. But we need to show more the level of the second half, much more.
Philippe,
Yeah.
what do you say to them that are losing faith and want change?
I agree with the first half. In the second half, I think fans see what they want to see, and they know also if they see this from the team 90 minutes, we're going to win again a lot of games. We're working very hard on that with the squad to get that kind of football again and to make it better. Like I said, Danny comes back from a long-term injury. He had his first minutes a couple of weeks ago. It's step by step that he needs to take his minutes. The same with Yanis after not being available for the squad for.
Do you think that Clement just reads song lyrics before he goes into his interviews and just rhymes off the song lyrics when he goes into interviews?
For a long time, and it's with other players the same. I've heard also in the second half that the fans were behind the team.
Have you? Did you not hear the boos?
And not booing in the second half.
Wait a minute.
And not booing. Heard also in the second half that the fans were behind the team and not booing. And it's with other players the same. For the squad I've heard also in the second half that the fans were behind the team and not booing. Heard also in the second half that the fans were behind the team and not booing. Heard also in the second half that the fans were behind the team, 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 and not booing, behind the team, and not booing. Deservedly, because it was behind the team, and not booing. And deservedly, because it was not good in the first half, and you get a goal against, that makes things also worse, of course. It could have been perfectly 0-0 at halftime also.
We've sat here a lot of times at half time and full time, and the reaction's been like that, and it's been a game of two halves. Can you explain why it's not quite went right and you're forced into making those changes? Do you think then that you've got to look at who you're starting and things like that?
Yeah, of course, but it was not every time with the same players also. We're working on that to make this squad more consistent. You see also players growing who are longer here, who are getting better in the way we want to play football. In that way, Václav is also an exponent in that way. That's normal, but we should have took along the way more points. These kind of games, you cannot lose points if you have so many chances more than the opponent, if you have so much more possession as the opponent, you need to win. So
He sounds like he's going to cry. Have the broken Clement.
So you need to push those moments over the line, and we didn't do that today.
Is that no handball stuff?
You've lost too many points. Can you understand the fans have given up on the title already in this early in the season?
Come on,
That's fans can think what they want, and that's their right also. They want, and
The title already.
that's fans can think what they want. They want. That's fans can think what they want, and that's their right also. I never give up if something is not possible, and I see also what I see.
I never give up if something is not possible. So you just keep on doing the same thing again and again and again, even though you know that it's not possible, but you're never giving up because it's not possible. Oh.
In the second half, everybody sees also what they see in the second half. We need to have that level much more the next couple of months and take much more points. Of course, it's a big gap, and
Of course it's a big gap. Did you just say that?
you don't points. Of course, it's a big gap, and the next couple of months and take much more points. Of course, it's a big gap, and you don't know what other teams, how many points they lose along the way. But we need to get more points, and you see also if you play like you played in the second half, you will get more points. But we need to put that as a standard for the team, for everybody. That's what I said in the dressing room also.
I think there was a lot of injury breaks, especially in the second half. How frustrating was that to try and build a bit of fluidity in the team?
Yeah, they said before the game they came to annoy us, so they used that part to stop the game in moments. I think the referee was excellent today.
They came to annoy us.
Moments, I think the referee was excellent today. They said before the game they came to annoy us, so they used that part to stop the game in moments. I think the referee, they came to annoy us. They came to annoy us. They came to annoy us.
What's he talking about? Mosquitoes?
So they used that part to stop the game in moments. I think the referee was excellent today also in managing the game. You cannot do much more about that. I think my players were also good in that way, that they didn't go in the discussion, in the talking about those things, but they were only busy with football. And
What the fuck is he going on about? Did they all sit round and have a wee cup of tea during the game or something? And the Rangers players didn't want to get into conversations?
and try to score more goals and to win this game way. They didn't go in the discussion, in the talking about those things, but they were only busy with football and try to score more goals and to win this game. So that part of the game we don't have control on, so I'm not busy with that also.
Thank you, Rangers, for not putting out a statement tonight to say that he is that he's not gone, that he's staying, and we need to listen to him just a little bit longer because it is. Could you imagine if somebody like that was Celtic manager?
How do you explain the first half performance in terms of the lack of urgency?
Opponent at that moment, that's also part of the story, is more fresh in the game. You see all over the world in the first half it's more difficult to create open chances because opponents are more fresh and they can run all the distances and they can get into all the duels. And second half you see also a lot of players from Dundee United getting tired because they had to run a lot before. So in that way that's also a little bit normal. But still we lost too many balls that we cannot lose in the first half, that the quality on the ball was not good enough. And for sure the goal we can never concede in that way. Not with an easy cross, but for sure not with the contact in the box.
Where did the see when you interview someone, right? You kind of know in the first couple of minutes if it's the geezer for the job. And do you think that they actually had? Do you actually think that they had an interview with him? Do you think that somebody sat down and spoke to him? Maybe that's why they left. But as Brendan Rodgers will up the film, I've done my back in there. You actually think that they're a different species. Yeah, I'm going to have to listen to Brendan Rodgers just to get myself some normality from a football manager, because there must be little butterflies and like fairies running about his head and maybe even leprechauns.
Philippe, are you seeing,
Last one, Josh.
Are you seeing enough in the performances, maybe not the results, but are you seeing enough that convinces you the results will change?
Yeah, for sure, 100%. If we play like we play in the second half, we will win a lot of games. But it needs to be every time like that. And we need to create a team and a...
Wait a minute, you just said we need to create a team. Haven't they just had a rebuild?
And a mentality
listen.
And we need to create a team and a... But it needs to be every time like that. And we need to create a team.
He's just created a team. He's just had a rebuild. I did hear that right, didn't I? I'm not like...
And a mentality and a culture also, to have that every 3 days. For a lot of boys it's new. They need to step in that culture because that's what Rangers is about.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. That's all you're getting. But before we go into that, we need to listen to sort of the biggest meltdown of the evening yesterday. And yeah, you know what's coming next. Sorry.
Good news for Rangers today at Ibrox as they close the gap to the current champion Celtic. But the bad news is, come about 10 o'clock tonight, that gap is going to open up to double digits, 11 points. Welcome back, guys. The Fog Football and Philippe Clement, he might not make it to 10 o'clock tonight. He could be gone for Glasgow probably in the next 15 minutes because there's another set of points dropped for Rangers this season. First time they've dropped points at Ibrox. And I say that in the preview show, I predicted 1-1. I've been saying how Rangers have been very lucky, winning a lot of games by 1-0, and sooner or later, your luck's going to run out, and you're going to stop winning these goals by the 1-goal margin. And that's exactly what happened to Rangers, and also happened to Aberdeen as well. So sooner or later, you just cannot win every game by 1 goal. You're going to be punished, and today, that's what happened to Rangers. They were punished, and I think this is the final blow on Clement's Rangers career.
No, it's
cry
not
today was-
Fog football. No, it's not. The breaking news tonight is the fact that the Rangers manager Philippe Clement is safe at Rangers for now. The rumour mill was shut down amid rising speculation of the manager was going to be sacked. The Belgian facing massive pressure for a lacklustre campaign at Ibrox. Has been under fire. The rumours were widespread across WhatsApp and social media this afternoon, claiming that the beleaguered Belgium was on the verge of exiting the club by mutual consent. Even though the fact that anybody that has any power to sack people at Ibrox isn't in the country and is nowhere to be seen, so there's no one at the club, there's no senior figure at the club to sack the manager. Said that it was absolute nonsense that he could walk tonight. Clement, though, is still clinging to his job by his fingertips, it says by the Scottish media now, after Saturday's 1-1 draw with Dundee United, leaving them 11 points behind the Premiership leaders Celtic and 8 points behind the mighty Aberdeen. The Northern Lights of Aberdeen are shining over the east, the Govan end of Glasgow, and it is just showing them what they could have had. And it's expected that this will go on and on and on. Just like good old the powers of television, as they say. The powers of television. Let me just get to this video. And if you want to see some more madness with Philippe Clement, and if you want to see a weather, yes, where he talks about the weather, make sure that you jump over to this video now that I'm just putting in the comment section. It's been absolutely fantastic. We didn't get the information that we wanted tonight, but he is still there. They all still want him sat. They will be absolutely fuming. If you want a little bit of a laugh for the next couple of minutes, make sure you jump onto the video that I just have put in the you know where it is. It's in the comments, but on the live. And if you don't see it on the live, you just go on and it's the latest video that's came up on it. Anyway, who are they going to get? McInnes. The Daily Rangers says he's safe. That's all that we need to know. Anyway, on that note, have a fantastic evening, Celtic fans. We are on 19,868 subscribers. It has jumped up since we've been on the live. Make sure that you check out this, because this is going to keep on going up. Make sure that you check out the lives on the Wednesday, because I think we may hit the 20,000 on the Wednesday. And if we do, you'll see one excited Baz, and especially if we get the result that we want. The time is now currently 6:15 at Celtic Park. It's 7:15 in mainland Europe. And whatever time it is around the world, make sure you have a fantastic evening, Celtic fans.